Welcome to the channel. Here, we provide clear, actionable insights into the complex world of tax and accounting to help your business thrive.
All right, let's dive right in. We're breaking down the latest need-to-know updates from the California Franchise Tax Board for January 2026. We've got some urgent deadlines, a few new rules, and some great free resources that could really save you time and money.
The tax world is always changing. It's never static. So the real question is, which of these updates are going to directly impact you, your business, or maybe your clients? Well, let's find out.
Okay, we're going to start with the most time-sensitive stuff. This first section is all about immediate opportunities for tax credits and some really important details on disaster relief programs that you do not want to miss.
First up is a big one, especially for businesses looking to grow here in California. The California Competes Tax Credit, or CCTC, just opened its application window. But listen up, it is not going to be open for long at all. And what are we talking about here? What's at stake? A massive $308 million in tax credits is up for grabs in this round. I mean, this program is specifically designed to keep and attract great employers in California, so it is a huge opportunity. Just take a look at this timeline. Applications opened up on January 5th, and they slammed shut on January 26th. That is an incredibly tight window, just a few weeks. So if your business is even thinking about applying, the time to get the ball rolling is right now.
Now, shifting gears a little bit to disaster relief. The FTB announced support for taxpayers who were impacted by those Los Angeles County fires back in January of 2025. Now, while the filing deadline itself is passed, there's some critical info you still need to know.
So this relief pushed the tax filing and payment deadline all the way to October 15, 2025. And here's why this is still so important. If you were affected, but maybe you forgot to mark disaster on your return and then you got a penalty notice, don't panic. You need to contact the FTB right away. They have a specific process to help you get that sorted out. All right, next up, let's talk about some procedural changes that are going to affect how a lot of us interact with the FTB. We're talking about new mandatory e-filing and e-payment requirements.
The key takeaway here is pretty simple. For certain tax preparers and businesses, filing on paper, well, that's just not an option anymore. The FTB is really pushing this to improve efficiency and accuracy, which, ultimately helps speed up processing for everybody.
So let's break this down because there are two different mandates. On the left, you've got the rule for individuals. Basically, if you're a tax pro and you file more than 100 individual state returns, you have to e-file them. If you don't, you could face a $50 penalty for every single paper return. Now on the right, we have the rule for businesses. Any business using tax software to prepare its return also has to file it electronically. And look, the penalties for businesses are even steeper. $100 for the first time and $500 for any time after that. And for all the small businesses out there making payments through the FTB's web-pay system, here are a few pro tips to avoid some really common headaches. First, make sure you're using the right portal. There's one for businesses and one for personal. Second, be really careful to select the exact payment type you're making. And probably most importantly, make absolutely sure your ID number and your entity type perfectly match what the FTB has on file. This will save you from major processing delays. Now, the good news is the FTB isn't just rolling out new rules and leaving you to figure it out. They're also providing some really great new resources to help everyone get up to speed. Let's see what they've got. Okay, for anyone who deals with real estate, this is a fantastic update. The FTB just dropped a new, really in-depth video on their YouTube channel that breaks down all the complex rules around real estate withholding for foreign sellers. It seriously covers everything, from requirements and exemptions to exactly how to submit the right forms. And, hey, if you're the kind of person who wants to get your questions answered live, you're in luck. The FTB is hosting free 25-minute virtual presentations, and they're followed by a Q&A. There's one on non-resident withholding every second Wednesday of the month, and another on real estate withholding every third Tuesday. All you got to do is shoot them an email to register.
Of course, state taxes are only half the story. It's always a smart idea to keep one eye on what's happening at the federal level with the IRS.
And the IRS has been busy. Recent announcements cover a whole range of topics. We're talking new guidance on tax credits for businesses, updates to voluntary disclosure programs, proposed rules for retirement accounts, the whole shebang. They also just wrapped up their annual Tax Security Awareness Week, which is a great reminder for all of us to keep our data safe. I think this quote, straight from the IRS, really says it all. Preparation is everything. Even though we're just kicking off 2026, thinking about tax season now can prevent so many headaches down the road.
So what are the big takeaways from all this? If you remember 3 things, make it these. First, act fast on those super time-sensitive deadlines, like the California Competes tax credit. Second, adapt to the new mandatory e-filing rules so you can avoid those penalties. And third, absolutely take advantage of the excellent free educational resources the FTB is offering.
And that really brings us to our final question. With all these new rules, deadlines, and resources in mind, it's a really good time to just take a step back and think about your own situation. So, are you truly ready for the 2026 tax season? Thanks for tuning in.